Alright, all you high-scoring champions out there, welcome back to the Indy Radio Arcade. And by the way, during the break, Maestro was able to find that song that was featured during the commercial for Live Free or Die Hard, and it was a song by Guys Night entitled Die Hard. And Guys with a Z, by the way, and we will be playing this around the end of the show. Yeah, just for you fans out there, because the song's awesome. And besides awesome songs, folks, I think it's time for us to check out a couple of awesome games trying to make their way to the main stage, along with some high scores along the way, for another edition of the Indy Wall of Fame. And the first game that we have up comes from the developers, Dan I.B. Woods, nice name by the way, with their game, Absolute Territory. And this game automatically reminds me of a combination of Star Fox with a little hint of Ace Combat in there as well. And here's hoping in the near future for this outer space fighting game that not only they allow you to customize your plane, but also gives you access to a railgun to put on the ship as well. And Maestro says it makes no sense, but at the same time, I do believe that jet in outer space doesn't make any sense either. So the fact of it having a laser cannon on it, yeah, it would make sense to me. And the next game that we have up, besides Jet Planes in Space, which would make a good title for a movie by the way, comes from the developers, from Reese, Rosine Hamlin, and Vincent with their game, Sapper. And this game automatically reminds me of a combination of both Bomberman, Angry Birds, and a little hint of the demo mode that you would have to do in Red Faction Guerrilla. And here's hoping in the near future for this game is the fact that they allow you to design your own castle that your friends would have to destroy in the near future. Yeah, neither that or a sandbox mode where you can test all the explosives you want in this one big giant castle environment. That'd be pretty cool. And the next game that we have up comes from the developers, Pampa Fox, nice developer name by the way, with their game, Warp Zone vs. The Dimension. And this game automatically reminds me of a combination of both Beautiful Joe and I do believe Double Dragon in there as well, if both of the characters was game cartridges. Yeah, if that was a thing. And here's hoping in the near future that you can give these guys their own special custom move that they can do to truly finish off their opponents. Like, for example, one of the game cartridges could do one of those Yoshi River Dance kicks, or that kick that Shenlong used to do back in Bloody Roar Primal Fury. You know, the one where he would do that elevator kick, knocking you all the way up in the sky, and then kicking you all the way to the other side of the stage. Yeah, really wish more games would use that. And the next game that we have up, besides river kicking good guys kicking bad guys, comes from the developers, Remaniac, with their game, Terminal. And apparently, according to the Maestro, the name of the developer company was Remanic. Even better. And this game automatically reminds me of a combination of both Dead Space if it took place on Earth, with a little hint of Doom in there as well because of the enemies. And here's hoping in the near future, despite all the cool weapons that you have, that they also allow you to have a little bit of backup to help you in this game. And according to the Maestro, one of the cool weapons that you can use in this game is a flamethrower. Nice! And I hope they have a weapon that can shoot disc at the enemy too. You know, saw disc, like in Dead Rising 2. Yeah, here's hoping they have that too. And the last but not least game we have up for this week, folks, comes from the creators, Crazy Vivian97 with their game, Orbital Shipyards. And this game automatically reminds me of a combination of Lego with a little hint of Duck Dodgers in there as well, with a splash of the way things work and that synergistic lab that I took back in middle school where they allow you to create planes and other inventions and see if they can work out in the field. And with the fact that somebody can create their own pirate ship in space in this game, not much I really want from this game in the near future, because I got a feeling there's no limits to it. So here's hoping in the near future that you get a chance to actually create your own environment around the ships. Yeah, besides getting a chance to create your own ship. And with that said, folks, we now head into the high scores for this week from the Twitter page of @highscore. And the first high score we have up comes from Turbo Joe with his high score of 260,550 during the game Renegade for the NES. Now, I don't know why, but the word renegade sends that guy with no shirt and the ponytail during the TV series. Always used to like that word. And the fact that this was a world record attempt, good luck and I hope you got it, man. And back to the high score portion of this game, folks. The next high score that we have up comes from Jess with his high score of 124,650 during the game Same, the Japanese version. Next high score we have up once again comes from Jess with his high score of 186,990 during the classic Galaga game of Galaga 88, the Japanese version for the NES. Man, he's getting a hold of a lot of cool Japanese games, and according to the maestro, this game was for the arcade. Thank you for the correction. And the next high score that we have up comes from G. Tipple with his high score of 50,150 during the Atari game of Batman the Movie. And thanks for that reminder of that high score that we were supposed to do a Batman-related movie for this week, but I got a feeling we're going to start off the year for the Indy Radio Arcade with a Batman film to make up for it. Does that sound fair, Maestro? Just give me the thumbs up. So, we're moving along. Because the next high score that we have up comes from the gamer known as Darren9999 with his high score of 945,500 during the classic Atari game of Hyperforce. And he played it on the Jaguar, and from what AJ Styles said, is a very rare and very expensive system to hold on to nowadays. So good job, Darren9999. And the next high score that we have up comes from the gamer known as G. Tipple with his high score of 108,390 during the Japanese arcade game of Same. And that would be his high score. I almost laughed at the end of that because I'm pretty sure we mentioned that before, but it was a different high score. I'm a poet and I don't know it. Anyway, next high score that we have up comes from the high scoring champion of Oyama family with his high score of 70,360 during the Pac-Man collection game of Pac-Man on the Cola Plus on Fast Off for the Atari 7800. Not bad. Next high score we have up after that comes from none other than Zilch Sr. with his high score of 1,223,574 on the classic Atari 2600 game of Centipede. Also besides him, you have Omar Gen with his high score of 48,500, a part of the Atari 2600 game of Stradlin de Telesvogel. Now, I'm not sure if I said that right, but hopefully I did. It didn't offend anybody from the country it came from. And the next high score that we have up comes from, once again, Jess, with his high score of 601,800, a part of the arcade game of Fantasyland. And the fact that he was able to beat out the score that was below him by well over 200,000 points, good job, man, good job. And the next high score that we have up comes from Dumple with his high score of 1,517,600 during the classic arcade game of Armed Formation F. Actually never heard of that one, but it reminds me of R-Type if I was gonna try to point it out. And the next high score that we have up comes from none other than Manisila Gaming with his high score of 145,000 during the PlayStation 2 game of Capcom Classics Volume 1, Mercs. Then the next high score that we have up, which comes from Zilt Sr. once again, with his high score of 2,305,995, or 955, thank you for the correction once again, Maestro, from the Atari 2600 game of Midnight Magic. And that sounds like a good name for a show, so we'll write that down in the future, Maestro. And the last but not least high score that we have up for this week comes from none other than Resident X1X with his high score of 6,240,840 during the Die Hard Trilogy game for the PS1 known as Die Hard 2 Die Harder. And the fact that I remembered this game when I was a kid, good job on that high score, first of all. And second, why haven't we mentioned this as a video game story yet? I do not know. And if you guys want to check out any other cool high scores that are still trying to make their way to the Twitter feeds as we speak, you can head on over to the high scoring Twitter page of one man only known as @highscore, or head on over to their website of highscore.com to win cool prizes for your high scores. And trust me folks, like we say on every single show that takes place during the morning, afternoon, or night, it's a fair trade. And the high score still stands for this month comes from none other than AwesomeOgre with their high score of 20,819,100 during the Genesis MegaDrive game of Dragon's Fury. And I got a feeling it's gonna stay on the top of the mountain until we wrap up this entire year, but I could be wrong. And if you guys want to check out any of the cool games that we mentioned for this week, plus other games that are still trying to make their way to the Steam machine via cargo plane, cargo ship, or subterranean train that is still currently rumbling underneath your toes, you can head on over to the store.steampower page, only known as store.steampower.com, and click ever so lightly on that upcoming button, while also clicking on that Indy button as well, to check out a whole bunch of sub-degree cool games that'll definitely put you on ice for this AC December, and make you even 10% cooler while playing it. Yeah, so make sure you got the AC up while you're playing these games. Or the heat. Is it the heat, Maestro? Yes, it's the heat. And I guess with that said, folks, we might as well head back to this music once again. And when we return, we'll be back with this week's $64,000 question right after a word from our sponsors. So don't skip out on that bonus round just yet, folks, and stay tuned.